Good. All right, I'd like to welcome everyone to the August 3rd, 2017 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. If everyone would please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We've got a full house this morning. It's always good to see. I'm Jeff Benton, President of the Board. To my left is our Vice President, Gary Merrill. To my right is fellow Commissioner Barb Lewis, and our County Administrator, Farzana Ahmed, and Sarah DeNova is our clerk today. So let's start.
Resolution number 17-807, in the matter of approving the electronic record of the proceedings from regular meeting held July 31st, 2017.
So moved.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 17-807. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We have no public or elected comment this morning, but we do have Auditor Keitza here.
Good morning, Commissioners. George Keitza, Delaware County Auditor. Before I begin, I would like to call up the rest of our digital team up here to join me, and that would be Steve Lewis, our Chief Technology Officer, Rob Parsons, our GIS Director, and Jane Hawes, our Communications Manager. Commissioners, Commissioner Benton and I had the distinct privilege of accepting the award for Delaware County for being one of the most advanced digital counties in our population group. This national award recognizes Delaware County as being one of the most innovative counties of 2017 in using digital technology when compared with other counties of similar size, and that would be in the 150,000 to 250,000 population range. And I'm pleased to report also that last year Delaware County ranked 9th in this grouping, and this year we moved up to 2nd place. So I think that's a major achievement. I would like to introduce Delaware County's digital team. First of all, Steve Lewis, our Chief Technology Officer. Steve has played a leadership role in terms of fiber optics and getting fiber available for the county, as well as shared services with other units of government, and particularly cybersecurity. Rob Parsons, our GIS Director, has played a leadership role in using our GIS technology and implementation of our paperless reappraisal system, which utilized that digital technology, as well as developing a mobile app for our GIS technology. GIS means Geographic Information Services, and actually he recently presented a paper on Delaware County's work at the Esri conference in California. And finally, I'd like to introduce Jane Hawes, our Communications Manager, for coordinating the completion of a 24-page survey and submitting it to the Center for Digital Government. And of course, without the completion of that survey, we would not have been eligible to receive this award. So again, this award reflects the leadership role that Delaware County continues to play in both Ohio as well as on the national stage. And with that, I'd like to invite any member of our digital team to have a few words if they want to say anything. or if not, I can keep talking.
They're shy all of a sudden.
So with that, Commissioners, I would like to ask our digital team to present this certificate that we received at the NACO conference so that it can be displayed here in the Commissioners' offices. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please present that to the Commissioners.
All right. Boy. I've already seen this.
Yeah, you were there with it, too.
That's right. Very good.
Well, since it's in my hand, I'll comment first. I think it's with a great deal of pride that all of us commissioners, and I'll speak for myself, certainly myself, that it's a great acknowledgement of what's being done in our county in this area and a lot of areas. And thank all four of you for your leadership. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Being a leader in innovation technology is a real honor. I mean, you're at the cutting edge of all that is important today. There's so much going on, and then the protection through cybersecurity that you're doing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jane, too, for the survey. That's great. There was a nice article in the Gazette, too, with a picture that I loved. So, any other comments, Suzanne, at all? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, as Auditor Keitzer did mention, I had the honor of being there with him to receive this award, and that was quite a group. There were a bunch of people there. They went through the criteria, the ranking criteria, how you get graded, and there's a lot to it. There
sure is.
The survey, I'm sure, verified, but there were a lot of criteria. You've got to be on your game doing a lot of different things in different aspects of technology to be eligible for this award. And to win number 2 is great, and it also puts a little pressure on 2018. So not them, putting too much pressure on you. But anyway, again, very proud, very, very appreciative of all your efforts to receive this award. So, did we want to do a picture or anything, Jane? That's right.
That's right.
Si, are you okay?
Si, that's the most noise you've made in a week.
Thank you very much, Commissioners.
Yeah, put your name in the middle. So finally got Steve, Jane, and Tom. And then I'll take the 3 of you hold right here. And then I have to take my glasses off. This is a photo op.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right.
Thank you.
Congratulations, you should keep this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
All right. It's great to acknowledge our IT efforts. It's so important. So,
Wow.
all right, move on.
This away from this so I don't hurt it.
Gavel the glass.
Put it over here. Next, we have a resolution acknowledging the people in need. Resolution number 17-808, in the matter of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners recognizing September as Hunger Action Month in Delaware County.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. We do have a resolution, and I think Commissioner Lewis
I do.
is,
All right.
I don't know if you're completely prepared. I may have sprung that on you, but if you would read that,
Right,
please.
I'd be very happy to read the resolution. Proclamation, whereas hunger and poverty are issues of grave concern in the United States and the state of Ohio, and whereas Delaware County is committed to taking steps to raise awareness about the need to combat hunger in every part of our state and to provide additional resources that citizens of Delaware County need, and whereas Delaware County is committed to working with Mid-Ohio Food Bank in educating people about the role and importance of food banks in addressing hunger and raising awareness of the need to devote more resources and attention to hunger issues. And whereas more than 524,000 individuals in Ohio rely on food provided by Mid-Ohio Food Bank annually, and whereas the Mid-Ohio Food Bank distributed more than 69 million pounds of food and groceries in 2016 through its network of food pantries, soup kitchens, shelters, and other community organizations. Whereas Delaware County would like to thank our county-wide partners, which include Buckeye Valley Food Pantry, Council for Older Adults, DCS Family Resource Center, Delaware Hunger Alliance, Feed Community Kitchen, Feed Food Pantry, Delaware City Vineyard, Harlem Road, VMC, Lutheran Social Services, Delaware Food Pantry, Andrew's House, High Point Nazarene, Open Table Pantry, Great Point Community Church, People in Need of Delaware County, Salvation Army Delaware, Vineyard Church of Delaware County Pantry, and William Street Weekend Helper. Whereas food banks across the state, including Mid-Ohio Food Bank, will promote numerous events throughout the month of September to bring awareness and attention to encourage individual involvement in efforts to end hunger in their local community. Now, therefore, we, the Board of County Commissioners of Delaware County, do hereby recognize September as Hunger Action Month in Delaware County, and we call this observance to the attention of our citizens, and it is signed by all three commissioners.
Okay, great, great. Commissioner Merrill, any further
Well, I know
comments,
we do have at least representative from one of those organizations here. Randy, do you want to say anything?
Yes.
If there's anyone else I'm not aware of, I recognize them.
Well, just very briefly, on behalf of all of the individuals and organizations that participate in this effort of feeding our citizens, we want to thank you for this recognition. I mean, hunger is one of those things that can easily overwhelm a family, and it is something that is sometimes overlooked. So this kind of recognition and acknowledgement is an important step in making sure everybody is aware of the issue and taking steps to correct it. So again, thank you very much. I appreciate the effort.
Yeah.
And Randy, you're representing people in need. You're with people in need.
I am with people in need, but again, speaking
Work
for
with-
all of us that are working in this area.
Thank you.
Yeah, as this proclamation shows, I mean, there's, 15 organizations, probably about 15, that work on this issue, and I think it shows that it's a very real issue in Delaware County, and it's great that there's so many groups that try to, that do work to help alleviate hunger in our county. So again, it shows how much Delaware County people care, which is great.
Well, that's very true, and a lot of these groups meet on a regular basis to try to coordinate our activities so that we're not just attacking it in a piecemeal fashion, but trying to coordinate and work together to make sure that the services are available to all the county residents to the extent that we're able to do that.
Yeah, I think all three of us have personal experience with people in need, and we know what a great job they do, and under your leadership and Kevin and so on. So again, keep up the good work.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, glad to do this. Do we need a picture as well?
Can we take a vote first?
What?
Can we take a vote first?
Oh, we got to do a vote first. Okay, we'll do a vote.
Vote on motion 17-808. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
All right, picture now, sir.
Okay, all right. And one more. All right, very good. Thank you.
And another proclamation.
Yes. Resolution number 17-809, in the matter of designating August 2017 as Child Support Awareness Month in Delaware County.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning. I don't know if you want to read the resolution first, or if you want me to.
Which do you prefer? I can read it, or you can go first. Which way do you want?
I was going to thank you for the recognizing Child Support Awareness Month for the month of August. It gives us an opportunity to raise awareness of child support program and its achievements. The child support program impacts more children than any other program besides the public education program. The child support program provides many important services, including child support collections, establishing legal relationships between the children and their parents, enforcing orders and health insurance orders. For the 941,000 child support cases in Ohio, support is key to the child's economic well-being and family self-sufficiency. Not only does, I think, a lot of the people think we focus just on the enforcement side of the agency, Delaware County has focused a lot on the support side of the Child Support Enforcement Agency, and we do a lot of the outreach. We do jail visits every week. We do prison visits to go talk to some of the inmates there to try to get them back on track with child support, tell them some of the resources that we have available. We participate in the reentry program. We're very active in the Fatherhood Initiative group. We actually just got a $10,000 grant that's going to be coming soon, and trying to put that in use for some fatherhood activities and stuff where they can connect with their children. We work closely with the JFS Workforce Development, so if somebody comes in and they're not employed, we try to refer them downstairs, help them get, if they need their GED or if they need interviewing experience, resume help, and even possibly getting employment. And we work very closely with our temp agencies as well, and they're desperately wanting work, so we can try to get them to work. And then we also have our Seek Work program, which entails most of that, like working with them again to determine do they need their GED or what resources do they need. So there's many resources available. We just need them to communicate with us. Everybody always says, well, I was afraid to call because I had a warrant out for my arrest. And I'm like, we're good, but we can't arrest you over the phone. Sorry. We can't arrest people over the phone yet. So pick up the phone and call, communicate with the case managers. We have a great staff. They do an awesome job working with the clients. If you guys want to just stand up and introduce yourself real quick. And
You have to give a speech while you're up.
My name is Lisa Kane, and I'm a case manager. I handle local cases for here in Delaware County and Central Ohio, where both of the parents live in Ohio, as well as interstate cases, or USA, and I'm sure you probably heard that we have one parent that lives outside of the state of Ohio, as well as one here, and we coordinate with those states to continue their child support case.
My name is Debbie Benjamin. I've been with the county for 7 years, child support. I'm a case manager also. I have half the prison caseload. I'm the Seek Work coordinator, and I'm involved in the reentry program also.
Thank you.
Jason Porter, been with the county now 2 years. I'm an enforcement case manager. I also work the other half of the prison caseload and part of the reentry program.
I'm Maren Akey. I've been here almost 2 years as well. I am our compliance officer and part-time hearing officer, which is essentially the jack of all trades, master of none. I do a little bit of everything, but pretty much every little program that we run.
Hi, I'm Christina Long. I have been with the county for it will be a year on August 15th. I am one of 4 administrative assistants.
I'm Sharon Cole, and I've been with the county for almost 18 years. Started out with prosecutor's office, now child support, have an enforcement caseload, and family violence caseload.
Okay.
thank you.
I'm Margaret Long. I've been with CSCA for almost 3 years, and I have an enforcement caseload and a multi-participant caseload, which deals a lot with dependency cases.
Hi, I'm Andrea Duffel. I've been with the agency for 8 years. I am an intake and enforcement case manager and also a training officer. So I train all the new case managers.
My name is Lisa Clavus. I've been with the agency 2 years. I'm an administrative assistant. I do a lot of intake stuff.
Thank you.
I've been with the agency for 2 years. I do the employment coordinator portion, so I get in contact with the employers to get the wage employees in place.
Okay, great.
Just a few bragging points for our agency. We do have 4,636 cases. We collected $24.9 million last year for 2016, and we are #1 in the state of Ohio in collections. So, and if it wasn't for the staff, we wouldn't be there. So I appreciate their efforts.
You say collection, is that a percentage or is that an aggregate number? Or?
We have, I don't have it in front of me, sorry, the 84-point-some% in collections. But yeah, that's the percentage. We're #1 in the state of Ohio collecting on the obligations of child support. And then one last thing, in conjunction with the Child Support Awareness Month, we're actually doing a driver's license amnesty program. We try to work very close with the clients. We send them pre-notices and let them know that, we're going to suspend their license. They need to contact us. So we try very hard not to suspend their license. But once we do suspend their license, there's certain steps that they have to go through, and we have to follow the Ohio Revised Code. And a lot of them feel that they can't meet those criteria. So we just created a program for the month of August to try to help them get back their license and everything. So basically what they have to do is they come into the agency, talk to one of our Seek Work program coordinators, they register for Ohio Means Jobs at the Workforce, register with 2 temporary agencies and make 1 month's obligation, and we'll reinstate their license. So we sent out 369 letters for the cases that have suspended driver's license, so hopefully we'll hear from them and be able to get them back on track. That's it.
Great. Again, thank you for your leadership and obviously excellent results, the whole team. Thank you all. We do have a proclamation. Commissioner Merrill.
We do, and you didn't identify why everybody's in green today.
Oh, that's right.
Green is the color for child support, so we, yesterday was actually wear green, but I asked them to wear it again this morning for the meeting.
And for the record, I was in green yesterday, correct? So I felt a little bad that I didn't wear the green today when I saw the green out here.
No, we got several pictures, and we appreciate everybody supporting us by wearing the green.
Very well. With that, I'll read the resolution. Whereas the Delaware County Child Support Enforcement Agency is dedicated to working with our partners in child support toward the common goal of getting support to the children of the families we serve, knowing that these children are our future, and whereas parental support, medical support, and financial support are key components in raising happy, healthy, confident children, and whereas the Child Support Program provides important services to both parents through a wide variety of services, including paternity establishment, child support and medical support order establishment, enforcement of orders, and modification of orders, and whereas ensuring that children receive the support they deserve involves working partnerships between parents, employers, county, state, and federal agencies, legislators, judges, healthcare professionals, advocacy groups, and many others, and whereas through these partnerships, the Ohio Child Support Program serves more than 1.3 million children and collects nearly $2 billion in child support annually. And whereas we recognize and appreciate parents who are deeply committed to the success of their children, and we acknowledge and celebrate parents who have provided a solid foundation for their children on a daily basis. And whereas through the leadership of the Delaware County Child Support Enforcement Agency, many children's lives are brighter because of the following accomplishments in the past federal fiscal year. Best Performance Paternity Establishment in the Medium Caseload Division. Best Performance Collections on Current Support in the Medium Caseload Division. Best Performance Collections on Cases with Arrears in the Medium Caseload Division. Best Overall Performance in the Medium Caseload Divisions. Best Disbursement per total FTE in the Medium Division. For every dollar the agency spent, we collect $18.57. Collected over $24 million on 4,488 cases. Whereas, with the recognition of the above successes comes the acknowledgement that our children deserve our best efforts to ensure that Ohio children receive the support they deserve. Now, therefore, we, the Board of Delaware County Commissioners of Delaware County, Ohio, do hereby designate, in conjunction with the state of Ohio, August 2017 Child Support Awareness Month, signed by Commissioner Jeff Benton, Commissioner Barb Lewis, and Commissioner Gary Merrill.
Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you all very much. Do we want to get a picture as well for this, Jane? You want to go out in the lobby?
Can we do the vote first?
What?
A vote.
After we do the vote. Sarah keeps forgetting.
Vote on motion 17-809. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Let me ask one question. Sure. Joyce, just one question. One of the most important things I know that you do, and there's so many, but the reentry program, I've been working a little bit on stepping up. Could you explain what that is? Because I think it's important for people to know that publicly.
We actually work with Diane, it's not Bruckner, I was going to say, I knew it wasn't Linville anymore. Basically, when they're released from the prison, we try to work with them to get them back on track and live a self-sufficient life. So basically, we're also working with creating what she wants to do, a citizen circle. So we're working on putting that together. And basically what that would be is once they're released, they would come to a central place, and then we'd have many of our partners. So Delaware County Child Support would be there, maybe Job and Family Services, and anybody else that could help them so that when they are trying to get back on track, they can come to one local place and get the resources that they need.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, everyone, for all your efforts. And I think that, just another example of being so proactive in finding the best way to help people.
That's right. We're actually going to West Central tomorrow, and it's one of the things that I really enjoy because when we go there and I introduce myself as the director of child support, you can see everybody kind of rolling their eyes. But by the time that we do our little dog and pony show and let them know that, hey, we're here to help you, afterwards, we don't have enough people to answer the questions. They're standing in line waiting to ask us. And even if they don't have a case in Delaware County, we take the information, we come back, we email the other county and ask them to please follow up with them. And we've had people call and track us down and say, thank you, hey, this worked, I'm doing this. So we're making progress.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
You're sober.
Yeah, they're doing it JFS. This is for the sharing we had,
All right. I think it was really cleared out.
Cheers.
We'll move on to other stuff.
Si's in charge now.
Yeah, side change chairs.
Tiffany, your seat's up here. All right, moving on.
Resolution number 17-810, in the matter of approving purchase orders, then and now certificates and payments of warrants and batch number CMAPR 0802.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 17-810. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-811, in the matter of granting the annexation petition of 1.1186 acres from Liberty Township to the City of Powell.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 17-811. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-812, in the matter of accepting the award for the Victims of Crime and State Victims Assistance Grant for Victim Services and approving supplemental appropriations in a new organizational key.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Nicole Ford with the Delaware County Prosecutor's Office. We were awarded additional Victims of Crime grant funds to assist in training a new civil protection order specialist. Penny Bennett's employment overlapped with our past civil protection order specialist for training purposes. These additional funds allowed us to have 2 protection order specialists at the same time. We ask that the grant be accepted and supplemented into county funds. We have been awarded $3,781.50. $756.30, which is a local match.
Well, I commend you for asking for the additional money for the overlap, and I think that's very proactive and
Yes.
helpful.
Thank you.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 17-812. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Nicole.
Thanks, Nicole.
Resolution number 17-813, in the matter of approving the sanitary sewer developers agreement for the Meadows at Home Road and North Park Road.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag with the Regional Sewer District. These are both our standard developers agreements with no special requirements, and we recommend your approval.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 17-813. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-814, in the matter of approving the sanitary sewer improvement plan for Liberty Trace Section 3, Phase B.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Once again, here a set of plans that has met all of our requirements, and they're ready for their EPA submittal, so we're recommending your approval.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 17-814. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill? Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-815, in the matter of approving sanitary sewer subdividers agreement for Liberty Trace Section 2, Phase 2, Liberty Trace Section 3, Phase B, and Cheshire Woods Section 3, Phase B.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
These are also standard subdividers agreements, no special requirements on any of these 3, and recommending approval.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 17-815. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-816, in the matter of approving a services agreement with Endress and Hauser Incorporated for on-site flow meter calibration at the Delaware County Regional Sewer District wastewater treatment facilities.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
We're required to calibrate all of our flow meters at all the treatment plants throughout the district annually. This is something that ensures that we comply with all the EPA regulations, so we're recommending your approval to be able to proceed with doing this service.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 17-816. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thanks.
Thanks, Tiffany.
Thanks, Tiffany.
Resolution number 17-817, in the matter of approving lease agreement by and between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners and the Berlin Township Board of Trustees to accommodate Delaware County EMS at the Berlin Station Township Fire Department facility.
So, second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Aaron Jennings, Assistant Chief, EMS. Before you is a lease agreement between the Commissioners and Berlin Township. This is for the housing and sharing of facilities between Delaware County and at the Berlin Township Fire Department. This includes housing of our medic 10, along with use of their facilities, their training room. It even gets down to kitchen facilities and so on and so forth. And I also do want to highlight that this is a great example of sharing facilities between township and county. It's worked very, very well. So this is an increase from $15,000 to $16,200, which is roughly approximately 8%, and that will be for 5 years.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-817. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.
Resolution number 17-818, in the matter of approving a contract with NBBJ LLC for the project known as the Delaware County, Ohio State Route 3637 Corridor Study.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Jenna Jackson, the Economic Development Coordinator. This project will be a study for the area between the City of Delaware and the Village of Sunbury on 3637 and the 71 intersection as well, as included in that study. We did a competitive sealed bid for this project, and this is the lowest and best bidder, and I recommend your approval.
Okay. I know this is probably our number one economic development priority. We got to develop that corridor, and this is the start of that, to develop a plan so we can properly develop that corridor, which should provide real good economic growth for decades to come.
Yes.
Through our main
Definitely
corridor.
very timely.
Yeah, very timely.
Yeah.
You know, the completion of the economic development plan, this is probably the number one priority in terms of specific areas that we need to do this, so I think it's a great idea.
I have no further comments.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 17-818. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 17-819, in the matter of accepting and approving the recommendation of the Union County Commissioners for the maintenance assessments of 50% of the Ottawa Run Joint County Ditch.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brett Bacon, Delaware Soil and Water Conservation District. Based on the information forwarded to you from Union County, we'd recommend approval of this motion.
Okay. I know I appreciate you filling some questions, answering some questions that I had, so I'm comfortable with this now.
And I appreciate it as well.
My pleasure.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 17-819. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
All right, it is time for our hearing.
It is. Resolution number 17-820, final hearing for the Hickory Knoll subdivision, for the Hickory Ridge subdivision drainage improvement maintenance petition project.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. I will run through the notes. Vote before we run through the notes.
Vote on motion 17-820. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye. Okay.
Okay.
The hearing is open.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. I want to make sure we get that properly. Okay. I will just brief everyone. Most of everyone's here is familiar with the process, but I'll just brief you real quickly. I want to welcome everyone to the final hearing for the consideration of the Hickory Ridge subdivision drainage improvement petition. There is a sign-in sheet circulating the room. We ask that you sign in. And I'll go through what's going to happen today. We're going to hear a report from the county engineer and the Soil and Water Conservation District. We'll take questions from the board. Then we will hear from all those in favor of the petition project, and then from all those opposed to the petition project. And during your testimony, you will be asked to take an oath. Continue back and forth if new information comes up or additional people wish to speak, and we'll take more questions from the board. Then, after listening to testimony and the report of the engineer, the board will decide whether to find in favor of the improvement, affirming the order and confirming the maintenance assessments, or the board may dismiss the petition by setting aside the order. The board does consider the following in our decision: whether the board hereby finds that the proposed improvement is necessary, that it will be conducive to the public welfare, and whether the board also finds that it is reasonably certain that the cost of the proposed improvement will be less than the benefit. With that, we will turn it over to...
We have a resolution.
I'm sorry, what? Oh, yeah, we've got to... Yes, back to Sarah. We've got to deal with some rule issues.
Resolution number 17-821, in the matter of approving for a specific occurrence a suspension of Rule 3, speaker registration, Rule 4, limitations, and Rule 7, public comment procedure from the rules governing the public comment before the Board of County Commissioners of Delaware County, Ohio.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-821. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
All right. Now we're ready to proceed with the county engineer and Soil and Water Conservation District's report. So,
Good morning. Brett Bacon again, Soil and Water Conservation District. We also have Matt Lanham from the Soil and Water Conservation District and Brett Borderford from the Delaware County Engineer's Office. I will read the final report into the record. Final hearing report, Hickory Ridge Drainage Petition per ORC 6131, June 29, 2017. This report has been prepared for the final hearing on a drainage petition filed by Courtney Shoemaker and others on November 30, 2016. The petition was signed by 6 of the 15 lots. The general location and course of the requested improvements is stated on the petition as follows. In Delaware County, Orange Township, and Hickory Ridge subdivision, generally following the existing course and terrain of the improvement in this subdivision, Attachment C. This petition specifically asks for to replace, repair, or alter the existing improvement as required and to maintain the improvement per engineer plan. Petition process. This petition has been submitted according to Section 6131 of the Ohio Revised Code, which authorizes the county commissioners to act on behalf of benefited property owners to make drainage improvements as requested by the petitioners. Should the Commissioners find in favor of the petition, the existing stormwater drainage system will be placed on the Delaware County Drainage Maintenance Program in perpetuity per Section 6137 of the Ohio Revised Code. The special maintenance assessments that follow this action would appear on each parcel's property tax duplicate semi-annually. The cost of maintenance would average 2% to 3% annually of the current value of construction costs and is divided equally among the benefiting parcels. The decision to approve a petition project is a three-step process. First, a viewing of the proposed drainage petition is conducted for the Commissioners to familiarize themselves with the site. The Commissioners conducted the viewing for this project on February 16, 2017. Next, a preliminary hearing is held to consider the initial feasibility and benefit of the request. This hearing was held April 27, 2017. Upon approval at the preliminary hearing, a second and final hearing is conducted for formal consideration of the request based on the findings of the county engineer after a detailed review of the existing drainage system and associated engineering. It is the second and final hearing that is before us for the Hickory Ridge subdivision. Existing commissions. The Delaware Soil and Water Conservation District performed an inventory and evaluation of the existing stormwater drainage system. A catch basin will require minor repair once the project is accepted onto the county drainage maintenance program. This will necessitate an initial 3% maintenance assessment collection. Maintenance and construction cost estimate. The annual maintenance assessment for each of the parcels would be estimated as follows. Estimated current value of the original improvement, $99,954.29. Per lot construction cost based on 15 lots, $6,663.62. The annual maintenance assessment per lot is calculated by multiplying the per lot construction cost by the percentage to be collected. For the initial 3% collection, this produces a per lot maintenance assessment of $199.91. Recommendations. Based on all of the information gathered for this petition request, I believe that the petition should proceed. It is my opinion that the benefits of the proposed petition exceed the estimated maintenance costs. It would be conducive to the public welfare. Should the Board of Commissioners choose to move forward with this project and affirm the order to proceed, I would request a separate resolution that the Hickory Ridge subdivision be accepted into the Delaware County Drainage Maintenance Program and that the schedule of assessments be approved and confirmed as submitted. I would also request that a 3% collection rate be certified to the Delaware County Auditor for special assessments for the Hickory Ridge subdivision to begin in January 2018. If the Board of Commissioners chooses to dismiss the petition, I would recommend a resolution reflecting that decision and that the costs for the proceedings, including the costs incurred by the Board of Commissioners, the county engineer, and the Delaware Soil and Water Conservation District in making the reports and schedules, be distributed to the benefiting landowners in the same ratio as determined in the final estimated assessments presented at this hearing.
Okay. Thank you, Bud. Questions from the board?
None at this time.
No.
Okay, I didn't really have any questions either. Again, this was a different situation than we've seen typically, in that there really isn't a whole lot of work to be done initially, and it's just to be put on the program. Now we'll hear from any of those who want to speak in favor of the petition project. If you want to go to the microphone, I do need to swear you in.
Okay.
I don't have an oath. Is there an oath somewhere?
Right.
There we go. There we go. There's the oath. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. Thank you. If you could identify yourself and then make
Yeah, my
comments.
name is Addison Smith. I was one of the residents on Hickory Ridge Court. In fact, I'm at the bottom of the cul-de-sac there. I did sign the petition. My questions revolve around, I guess, the scope of the maintenance agreement, because I know and I believe the report was speaking to the catch basin in front of Mr. Schumacher's house, but there's other drainage problems there, so I don't know whether those were in the scope or not. One, there's a couple in particular, and I'll just, if I can.
Sure. You got pictures?
The first picture is a picture of a drainage area between my residence and my neighbor's residence.
Okay.
And Orange Township put in, as you can see there, put in a little, like a 6-inch pipe, because the water kind of flows down the cul-de-sac. and that was to direct it to the area between my neighbor's house for it to drain, and what's happened is the sediments formed a hump there, and so that the water doesn't drain properly, and is muddy all the time. So I would like to see that redone, so that it's not, forming a bog right there. And the second area is behind my house, coming,
It's on the end again.
some pictures of the last storm we had on July 13th. There's drainage that comes through here, and here it's tiled. It's a 12-inch tile. It's open through here and it's open there. And so what happens is when the volume of the water or the saturation of the soil reaches a peak, I end up having a river in my backyard. So I didn't know whether those things could be included in the scope of any future maintenance for this area.
Yeah, we'll ask Brett to comment.
We have a copy of the Exhibit C that was prepared, which would represent what was requested by the petition to be maintained. If you think it would be a benefit, I probably have it on my computer. I could probably pull it up and put it on the screen. It'd just take me a minute.
Yeah, I think that'd probably be a good idea, so we can understand it better. Yeah, I won't comment because I'm not sure. Is this in the backyard, your backyard? Okay.
Yeah, the water, the surface water runs from the back of my neighbor's house. There's a vacant lot, and then on through, which the storm system goes, basically, the tiles come and they go between me and my neighbor's house.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, I see.
that's helpful.
Okay, that's where. Where is this in regards to?
So,
I think it's, well, Brett can point it out.
The area that you see in the crosshatched area, that would be what was requested by the petition to be maintained. So I think the open swale behind your house would be within that area. It would be maintained at the original design. There may be still times when that may flood. It would be kept free of obstructions, free of log jams should trees fall in the channel. To the best of my knowledge, and Matt has more experience with this area than I do. I don't think there would be any improvements at this point, other than if there's trees that are down in the channel that are blocking the flow. That would be what we would be looking to maintain in that area.
So this isn't included because it wasn't part of the scope of the project, or it doesn't qualify for part of the project?
It wasn't requested. If it's not in that hatched area, then the petition did not request that area to be maintained.
it is in the hatched area, though, that part.
Right. But I think that's the difference between drainage and flood control. The point of the drainage petition is to keep the water flowing through. If there's rains that exceed the original design of the system, then that's still going to come out of bank.
Your contention is that this is going to improve the flow, and what we're seeing in these photos will be less of an issue?
I'm going to beg off that question because I don't have the firsthand knowledge of the area. Matt can speak a little bit more intelligently on it.
Identify yourself.
Matt Land with Delaware Soil and Water. We went down and walked the whole site, did our field inspection, and that area behind this gentleman's house is more of a stream bed, and it was
Yeah, it is. It's drainage.
and it's drainage. It's draining down to the bottom right-hand corner, down to a general location. It's more of for our sake, we look at it more of a log jam and tree removal, like what Brett was saying, to keep the water flowing.
So my comment was, the improvements that are going to be made will improve the flow, and it should be less of an issue than what we're seeing in the photos.
Have you seen
I haven't seen the photos. This is the first time I've heard of an issue down here. So
I was out of state.
okay.
The main issue, the drain tile.
Up to the microphone, please. We're recording
The
everything.
handling of the drain tile takes care of it most of the time. The problem is that it's just open at the one end, so there's nothing to keep the logs and the leaves keep clogging it, and then it overflows. So it's constantly trying to keep it free from clogging.
Yeah.
Because it's coming from a wood area, so sticks and...
Which sounds like that's what that becomes their responsibility. Am I correct in stating that, Brett or Matt? Clearing the leaves and logs and...
Just for my own clarity, where's the drain tile that you're speaking of?
That's right.
Where would it be on that map?
The drain tile is right through here. Well, it actually runs. See, I don't know whether it runs in the back, and it runs right there. Because see, this is the point right there. So the drain tile runs right from the back of my house to where it stops there. It should be right there.
Okay, that drain tile was not part of the petition. So nothing with that drain tile. If that drain tile is getting clogged up on your property, that wouldn't be the responsibility of the maintenance program because it wasn't requested to be. The open channel would be. If there was some issue with the open channel where that tile outlets, then that would be part of the drainage maintenance program. So if the open channel were to become clogged with trees falling down or with debris, maintenance would clean that out. If there's some kind of issue with water entering that drain tile, leaving your property, that would not be part of the scope of this project because it wasn't requested to be.
I'm a little confused, just more clarity. When somebody files a petition, they're certainly not experts. They may not be able to clearly define what the scope of the project is. It would be my assumption, perhaps falsely, that the experts would, if they thought that was an issue, would be included in the project or at least evaluated. So am I incorrect in my assumptions?
No, you're not. And the source of information that we use to develop this document, the Exhibit C, basically what is going to be put on maintenance is the original engineering plans that were done for the subdivision. So if drains were added post-construction of the subdivision, something that was not part of the original stormwater design for the subdivision when it was first built, then we have no way of knowing about that short of somebody contacting the office and letting us know.
So it was never included because you weren't aware of it as an issue?
Correct.
So knowing what you know now, is that something we would have addressed if we'd have known about it earlier? Or you don't know?
Honestly, I can't speak to that because I haven't been in contact with the landowners. Matt, do you want to?
I guess I'd like to go down and take a walk with this gentleman. This is the first time I've heard of any issue down in here other than the original catch basin that we were addressing before. I would personally like to go down and walk the area with you and have a better idea what's actually going on and getting his opinion face to face with it. So.
Yeah, I was unable to make the field study. And I would appreciate that. I was unable to make the field study. I was out of the country at that time. And I asked Mr. Schumacher to show that area, but apparently that did not happen.
Yeah, we didn't walk back over there. We walked at the top down to the bottom right corner.
Right. And so, but even the rule has number 7, so the area in the front of our residences, would that be a part of it?
That'd be a question for
this area here that maintains water.
Yes, anything in the hashed area would be under the maintenance agreement, so.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, I bought the property like 15 years ago, and I'm not sure whether that drain tile, as I look at it, I know there's an enclosed, I have cement, there's a cement tile that goes back there with, a manhole cover and stuff like that. So that may be what that hatched area is. And the drain tile I'm talking about could have been added at a different time.
Mr. Smith, I have a comment. The reason we go to a viewing is to see the project, so it would have been very helpful if you'd have been there, had somebody there, or got in contact with Soil and Water after the event, because you make it
a little difficult now.
Kind of create an issue here that wouldn't have been an issue if we'd have perhaps known about it in a more timely fashion. I just felt like I need to say that.
Yeah,
and I don't know what we need to do here to go forward. Whether we have the ability to.
Can we table it and then the engineer and Soil and Water do more research? And it may be a legal question.
Yes, Eric, sir?
Yes.
I just want to clarify what you're asking.
You could identify yourself.
I'm Brett Berger from the County Engineer's Office. I'm sorry, I'm kind of off the radar. What you're asking for is this existing tile on your property. Will leaves and twigs be removed from it
or
when it becomes clogged? In its current condition, it's functioning. Is that accurate?
Yes, when it's unclogged, it's functioning, except for half a dozen times a year when we get...
So there's no deterioration of this existing culvert on your property?
It's a plastic drain tile.
So my understanding, you're asking, is this going to be maintained if this system is taken under maintenance? Okay. The second point is the Exhibit C that is up on there, which we have before us, is based upon the original engineering plans. The drainage that went in when Hickory Ridge was constructed is essentially what the Exhibit C is going to be covering. Any of these kind of offshoot laterals that possibly went in after Hickory Ridge was constructed wouldn't have been included on the engineering plans, wouldn't have been included in the engineer's estimate that we included within this second hearing report.
My question, though, is if you had known that, would it have been a factor that you would have considered or not?
If we would have evaluated, if it would have been included within the petition at the viewing, we would have walked it. Obviously, if there's like a little lateral coming off of it, it would have been included within the Exhibit C. What we historically do customarily on these projects is the drainage that is designed for the subdivision, whether it's a current subdivision or an older subdivision like Hickory Ridge, is what we use as our baseline for the storm sewer system. Because in subdivisions, there's a lot of individual properties that put drainage installed that benefit only that property. A ditch maintenance petition benefits the entire development itself. So I'm not saying that we wouldn't look at it, that we wouldn't even consider it. I just wanted to clarify that there wasn't a construction, there wasn't a problem like the catch basin that Brett Bacon and Matt had referenced that we're including within this petition to be repaired. You're essentially asking for additional drainage to be added to the petition.
Or some sort of catch basin or something, because it flows from my house sits in the middle of there and behind it, and I think the tile probably does run within the hatched area. There's two of them. There's that cement one, and then next to it is the additional tile. So and it's clearly meant to. And it goes, because I walked it, I was trying to figure out why I'm getting so much water. And it goes from here, it goes across there. But I guess what the problem is, and I don't think this is representing the engineering thing. Well, yeah, it does. Because it goes up here, there's all the way up there, and it flows down through here, is where there's a mound, and the drainage from the other houses up further on East Powell Road, the water just comes down there when the soil's saturated.
So your question for Eric, I just wanted to clarify is that can this be tabled? And to investigate this, additional drainage being added to the petition that wasn't included on Exhibit C would probably be the second question. I think you can speak to those two topics better than I can, Eric.
Excuse me. Eric Hostetler, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney. The statute does allow for any owner to file an amendment to the petition that requires that it follow the same process as the initial petition, including notice to all of the other property owners. You basically have to take this issue and go back to the beginning.
Does it have to be filed before the final hearing?
It just says while the petition is pending.
So before the vote?
Before the final vote, correct. To my knowledge, no amendment has been filed. So he would have to continue the hearing to give this gentleman the opportunity to actually file an amendment for notices to be sent out, and then the board would have a decision to make as to whether to allow the amendment before you proceed.
Could we approve the petition as is and then allow a subsequent separate ditch petition to be submitted to address the issues we've been talking about?
Yeah, you can do that. So you don't have to allow any amendment.
Well, I understand. Yeah. But we can go through and approve this, and then he could file another petition tomorrow,
yes,
or whenever.
And you go through all the same processes we've gone
Yes, it would.
to get to this point, which probably means there'd be a delay in the work because I'm going to guess there'd be some redundancy that might be entailed if this petition made it to fruition. And I'm speculating. I'm not the engineer.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. My understanding, talking to Brett earlier, is that the work that you're proposing is really pretty minor, and it's not at this location. It's the northern end of that where you're going to dig out the one.
Yes, the work that needs to be done is minor in nature, which is why we're doing it under maintenance. We're proposing to do it under maintenance instead of as a construction item. My understanding, if there would be a second petition filed, if the board were to approve this petition, this project becomes the Hickory Ridge Drainage Maintenance Project as it's shown right now and as the assessments are proposed. If another petition were to be filed to address a smaller part of this subdivision, that would become its own project, and the benefiting parcels would be determined by the parcels that would have benefit. So if it was just a storm line that ran and served 3 of the parcels, only 3 of the parcels would be affected or considered benefited, not the entire subdivision.
Okay.
So it would not be an amendment or say a combination of the 2 projects. You'd have the Hickory Ridge project, and then you'd have a smaller, I don't know what we'd call it, but a smaller project that would just benefit those parcels that would be served by that storm line.
One point that needs to be made is that the correction that you want to make on the northern, is it the catch basin? Is that what you're doing on the northern?
Yeah, I can point it out to you.
Yeah, now that, I remember seeing it, and that's a danger to kids.
Yeah.
And I'd rather move ahead with a petition in order to get that corrected. Yeah, I just...
5.
Yeah, and I remember where it is, so, and I've seen it. We've all
Yeah,
seen it.
there was concern with that catch basin, and there was concern that the entire catch basin needed to be replaced. As our staff did their evaluation, they found it was just a rim of the catch basin that had been added. The structure itself is actually sound. It's just the upper rim that needs to be replaced.
And you're proposing to put that on, just do that initially and cover that with the maintenance assessments?
Yes.
Right, that's covered with the original proposal. I'd rather move ahead with the proposal.
My comment,
And then if and I understand your concerns too, sir, so, I mean, filing a second petition then may be the best thing to do.
I think, if I may, I think the course of action I would suggest as far as this gentleman's concern would be for Matt to go and meet with him on property. I mean, sometimes there are solutions to a drainage issue that don't necessarily require a drainage petition. And Matt is very much an expert in our area as far as dealing with the subdivisions, and don't let that go to your head. I think that would be what I would suggest, is that he set up a meeting with Matt for them to look at it together.
Great idea, and take care, and
we can proceed from there.
Right, okay.
If we think that, filing another petition is the best way to address it, then Matt can counsel him as such. If there's another solution, then he can cover that as well.
My comments are this. First of all, this should have been brought to the attention of everybody earlier, so I'm trying to beat a dead horse, but I think that point needs to be made. The water coming off his property, obviously, whether by design or not, is part of the system, because whether it's intended by the developer or assumed by the developer, in my opinion, as a non-expert. So it's unfortunate that was not made very clear in the early stages, because it would have got evaluated. And we'd have had better information from which to make a decision today. My concern, and now, Commissioner Lewis, is it would be good to know, after it's looked at, whether this should have been included or not. If it should have been, I'd probably approach it a little differently, but the fact that it's been handled this way makes it more difficult. If it's possible to table it for a week, and I'm not sure it is, to get that answer, that's an answer I think would be helpful as far as how we move forward and to the benefit of everybody. If that's a problem in tabling it, continue the hearing, that's assuming, of course, we could get clarity within a week. That's my view. Commissioner Lewis, I don't know that a week is going to make a lot of difference if it helps get some clarity so we get the best result long term. But that's my comment. And right, we can't vote. Well, we continue within the hearing. We have to come out of the hearing to continue it. If we chose to continue it, we have to come out of the hearing to continue. We have to within the. It's a subtle question, I suppose.
Yeah, very good.
The resolution that you adopt to open a hearing, close a hearing, is non-statutory. So it really doesn't mean anything to me. Okay. So I have always taken that to be just an indication to everybody involved that, okay, now the time for public testimony is over. But if you think about it, you close the hearing before you take your formal action every single time.
There's no requirement to vote when you close.
I'm saying I don't think it really matters, because that's not a part of the statutory process when you open the hearing, close the hearing.
And you then reopen a hearing a week later then to continue conversation?
Yes.
That's my view, Commissioner Lewis, and so Commissioner Benton, I think, is...
Yeah, I would not have a problem with waiting a week or some very, very short time frame to get together and have the conversation. Is that realistic?
I think I know what Jen is.
Matt?
Next time all three of you will be present, that's Monday, is August 17th.
Yeah, it would be more than
2
a week.
weeks. No, 10 days.
The earliest
No,
we could vote
2
on
weeks.
it would be the 17th of August.
We have another hearing that day at 10, so we could continue this hearing until 10:15, but I don't know, I haven't noticed.
I don't think it's going to take very long.
No, I don't think it would take. Is that feasible from your standpoint, Matt, to get together and figure out what's the best way?
What we'll need to hear is some clarity on this issue, and I hope you appreciate the fact that we really are trying to work with you, and it didn't have to be an issue.
I didn't know what the process was. As I said, I was out of the country. I had asked the petitioner to show you guys that area. Apparently that didn't happen, so I do appreciate at this late date, not knowing the background, that you would come out and look at it.
Okay. All right, so I think we're agreed we will continue. Is that the right phrase? Adopt a resolution that will continue the hearing until August 17th. Do we have to set a date or just? 10:30? August 17th, 10:30?
Resolution number 17-822 in the matter of continuing the hearing for the Hickory Ridge Subdivision Drainage Improvement Maintenance Petition Project until August 17th at 10:30 a.m.
That is August 17, 2017.
2017.
So moved.
Second.
All right, further discussion? We'll take a vote.
Vote on motion 17-822. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Okay, so we have continued that, so we don't have to close the hearing then.
We're done.
Just-
So we're done with the hearing for now. And next, we will go into
Administrative assistance.
administrative reports. That's right, almost forgot those.
You want to do it after?
Yeah, we're going to do that after.
President, let me note, we had our first meeting for the Evans Farm NCA, and Mr. Ironman was elected chair. County Administrator Med was elected vice chair, and I was elected treasurer. Next steps for the community authority would be to pick an attorney and an administrator to help out with the administration of the...
Cutting the checks and doing the books and everything.
Yep. That's it.
Compliance. Okay. All right. Nothing else then?
Nothing else.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes, both Commissioner Merrill and I attended opening ceremonies for Strengthening Families, which is an initiative of United Way of Delaware County. And Strengthening Families, and I will read from the United Way info on this, it's a Strengthen Families initiative, enhances the lives of Delaware County residents through comprehensive programming and collaborations comprised of 30-plus local social service agencies, government agencies, and non-traditional partners. We are working collectively to improve the lives of children. We are doing this by focusing on increasing social emotional development, opportunities for early childhood education, and an increase in engagement opportunities for middle schoolers. So they are really zeroing in on two different groups of children, one from birth to 5 and the second from grades 6 to 8, in an effort to build resiliency during these two very important stages of life. And so it was, we both toured and at the Willis Center, which is now being used as an administration building, but it was great. They had all different rooms, one room for the preschoolers, and all different toys. And the neat thing is that families could check out these toys, kind of like a toy library. And then other rooms for kids who are in 6th to 8th grade. Very impressive. This is a culmination of about 5 years of work on the part of United Way. So I congratulate them on that.
Good location.
Yes, great location. The school looked wonderful. They worked hard. They repainted all the rooms and done quite a bit of work in each room. So anybody would be very happy to go there. There's even some mental health counseling, too, for families.
Great. It's good to hear.
And that's it.
The only thing I'd add, Commissioner Lewis said it very well, it's kind of an asset for the whole community, this building. This building comes with a lot of pride in the community. I didn't go to school here, but you have.
My father graduated from Willis.
And see this building being used not only for United Way and these agencies, others that will be using it as well, and they put the administration offices in that building as well. It's a great reuse for a building that is kind of a landmark for the whole city, and to some degree maybe even the county.
Sure.
Also attended Delaware Education Council meeting there yesterday morning, which is also in the same building, and I've been on that for a number of years. It's been somewhat difficult to attend when they meet on Thursdays, but this one was on Wednesdays, and we had a kind of an overview from Paul Kraft regarding the school and the financial situation and the progress on the buildings as they're being worked on and rebuilt or added onto. it's an optimistic time for the community, and lots going on in the schools. I think the Delaware schools are, how do I say this? I think people underestimate the quality of these schools. I have 2 grandchildren who go to the schools, and I can tell you the quality of the education they're getting in this school system is exceptional. And one's in kindergarten, one will be in the 2nd grade this year. So it's an acknowledgement to everybody involved in the schools, from the administration to the teachers.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Okay, just one other thing real quickly. I got a courtesy call from Renee Shoemate at American Electric Power, and she let me know, she said she would get in touch with all of us, the commissioners and the administrator and so on, to let us know that AEP is going to start a program where they're converting the electric meters at all homes in Delaware County to smart meters. So it'll be, I imagine it'll be a multi-year project, because there's thousands, tens of thousands of meters I'm sure they've got to swap out. But so anyway, they're doing that, and they just want to let us know so we can spread the word that
Do
is
they
coming.
go in the house to do that, or?
Depends on where the meter is, I imagine.
Okay.
If the meter's outside, then they
Yeah.
would probably not have to go inside. But anyway, I'm sure it's more efficient for them. It's good for the consumers, because they get accurate readings on a timely basis and so on. So anyway, just FYI. We do have a need for executive session.
Resolution number 17-783, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of employment of a public employee or public official.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion, vote.
So, motion 17-783. Sorry, 23, thank you.
There's a little voice from behind you.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye. All right.
I waited for the voice to be this way or this way. I didn't know which one of them was full voice or what.
In executive session.
Yeah. That's great. Okay.